ዝጎደለና ነገር ተዳሃልዩ I did ask it in English. How far is going the Yeakl Canada-wide movement? The city representation, is it working? And what's the ultimate goal? For this, go ahead, Dr. Mogos, you are the leader of this.
Okay, thank you. We might think sometimes, is when we call a meeting, and the people, they might show up. Then, the leaders or the city representatives, we might feel, discouraged. But that is not the reality. As we said before, is people, they have a lot of challenges on their life. Doesn't mean they don't support the Yeakl idea. Just they don't have time. Or just, they need to get more motivation. Or maybe the other issue is our planning itself. When we call a meeting, it's just we don't give them enough time. If we could have planned, in our calendar, the whole 6 months of 1 year, then the 6 months, for example, the 1 year could be so far. But 6 months every 2 months. Then it's just, we tell them, we can communicate with others, with the church members or with the mosque or other people where this is our time, so that they can make aware their members, and they will definitely they will make some effort to come, and also to bring is the component of the specific project. So this is the one which I noticed from some of my colleagues sometimes. They feel they feel turnover. No, this is it's very discouraging kind of attitude. But for me, it's even one person can change. A number is just a number. What is matter is the people, everybody. They are told their mind is with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is then is let's pick it up. Let's feel. Even my voice should count as 1,000. Then we'll make sure that as we do now is just let's encourage the youth to to participate with us, and make sure that to reach is other people where we can. So that is the city situation. Sometimes I don't know it others from my experience in Montoya. Okay. So far we had is number of meetings, but
okay.
Then we have to make. Thank you.
All right. Blan أشي هذا اللي هم نقول.
مرحبا نازان إبراهيم.
مرحبا إبراهيم. Go ahead.
تقصد؟
هو.
أقدم معها بتعمي مدرسات أبزنات كاشو كم جير كم صاخة زحقوسيو. كوا حليفون تحجز قبرز له أنا congratulation كلنا تبعاتنا إرترا هجراونتن تشجرنا هزنا تردين كم زم مقبارم تعمي يحقسني دكتور موغوس كأخل جزية كم intellectual بزح جزية رابطنات كغربيو بس قبرز اللخا تعمي موغوسو كاو حلفو تسلالنا كندا وكل تقبرز اللخم افتعوتو خبصحكا تسفا قبر انتو وحنت بسلا جيرانيرا هيرون نو ويزبولوخا قبرلهم ويعدون قدفلهم يعني رانا حجز بحالازي نالبات بتي ترى ترقم حرية خلنا قدمسي ولا أبوانا هيرون ولا نفنان زندق ناسي قد هاي سلاسي ذكرت خنكا ويت بمحارنياتهم هارو بقالوا كل حقتات سلازي أبوتاتن حنا شعو قزيه تحقنا إثيوبيا تقالنقا تقول نظره وين عاتهم تزبروهم قبر لهم علمنا ويدما بريت كيدهم أبوتاتن تشعو تقاليسو تعد قدي فمسي قالت خيدهم
أي تقاية تعد أي قدفهم كعدو ما يوصل
لا ما تا ختمة تا قزوم قدي فماتي
اتا ترغم اتا مسلا نزقال سنة هنا يأكل يخوني نقال سنة يسورة إرسات هونا خيونا تنبغال ترغوني ويز بلك أكبر إساس ويكا عد حدا قولوا no we cannot leave our country if we can consistently we have to fight against them right there at home which they have already started to fight ዓብ ቃልሲ ውሽጢ ኤርትራ ካይዳሉ መሬቶም ከይገደፉ ስለዚ ተምስላ ምዝናሃና ቁሩብ ትጋራጭያ
لا تشعت بزيتي زنبر حجي غاكو زم مرسيات انتا كوينام جو ويتا زبولهم إسياس قوبيهم ويكا تعد قديفهم ناب إثيوبيا ناب زبحر كل تتنقسي
ويكا قالوا سلو وكلاس كادم درمالو
مقوامي هجزيتي شعور مثلا زبولوس وي كتبقاهم نتيز مسكا ثلاث قريفكا ناب تزق برتاودي ولا تي بقرون جيرم زخور زلو مقوام مالتي
Okay. Let's put it that way. Okay.
ስለዚህ እቲ ብዓብዪ ግን እቲ ዓወት ናይ ፅላል ናይ ካናዳ ይምነየሎም በርትዑ ዓወቱ ብፅሕዎ ብሎም
Thank you Abraham. ራሄል ወን ከውፃእከ ምናልባት ሰብ ደዊሎም ቦታ ሕስክለኺ ኣለኹ ራሄል
ወፅያ ማለት
በዓላ ወፅያ ኣላ Okay, 8841 CKDU Eritrea. Can you hear the representative of city and will near Namasleni?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if the representatives of cities are expected, fulfilling the expectation of members of Yeakl. Now, we were talking about time. I don't know, one of you tell them 2 o'clock, or Rahel, I think, you tell them 2 o'clock, they come at 5, compare and contrast with the younger generation here. This is the virus of Eritreans. Very big virus. We don't know how to solve it. That's one problem because we don't consider time is money.
Yeah.
Back at home,
Right.
When you make an appointment with someone, let's meet for coffee at 1 o'clock. He comes at 4 because he know we don't have nothing to do. You're going to sit there. But in diaspora, it's not the same. Time is money. I don't know how to make them understand. Just a minute. Hi, I'm blind. Professor. Go ahead.
Shall I speak in English or
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead in English, whatever.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Okay. What you are doing, especially the young, is very important, and I really appreciate and proud of you because it is the young, the resourceful, the smart that should finish, perform, and achieve the aspired goal. As you know, in several places, including countries, it is the young usually as a vanguard or front line fighting very hard. I understand that we are dispersed all over and we have too many challenges, but don't forget that it is you
There.
at the forefront of scientific and political and professional young talent who will make Eritrea a better place for all of us. Therefore, what I would like to suggest here is
USA.
organization is very, very important.
Or
You can see,
Canada.
or you can take the Palestinian example. Palestinians in 1948, 1956, and 1967. The Arab countries told them or pushed them out, motivated them to leave their home and just cross the border and stay outside until all the Arabs fight and push the Israelis. That was wrong. They proved it wrong. Now, the Palestinians knew and they are very conscious, and now they are fighting inside their home. It means at least the leftover around 3 million. And this Eritrean dictatorship or regime is doing exactly that. They don't care. The regime doesn't care. This group doesn't care. They want to push every young Eritrean who has the knowledge, the motivation, the guts, etc., just to send them off. And that's the strategy. Therefore, we have to fight hard and formulate strategy against this machination. That's very, very important. Like what my friend Naz said, you have a task, you have a commitment, and you have also dedication to organize. Organization is very important because you will have, or you will develop resources and capabilities. That is the only way you can confront, skillfully confront, boldly confront the enemy. Of course, it is an Eritrean enemy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Asmara. Mangistab Yohannes, sorry. 88.1 CKDU was of Eritrea. We are chatting or having discussion with Dr. Mogos Yacob from Montreal, Fnan Tesfamariam from Calgary, Heron Goitom from Toronto. Both they are in the younger generation, even Dr. Mogos compared to our age. And the dilemma we are discussing is what do we do? We're saying Yeakl for sure. So some people, they think that Yeakl just a word, but Yeakl is not a word. Yeakl is a weapon, very sharp weapon that proved 3 times achieved victory since 1550 until 1991 or 19, whatever we achieved the independence. Even we start forgetting about it because the independence, it became just brought a sorrow and sadness to our people because independence without freedom. It's not an independence. For sometimes even we are upset minded. We can't even remember the day of independence. Somehow, that's what we are talking. What do we have to do to achieve our freedom? Kikitsagay, she told you guys from USA, your voice is voice of hope. And thank you for all of you. That's by email.
Thank you.
Now what we are trying to do is how do we formulate the plan to tackle the existing system. One of the tackle the existing system, of course, Canada-wide, we cannot do it by ourselves. We need to join other umbrellas like us. Now, until this time, is there anything that we have done in towards joining some other movements like Yeakl? Dr. Mogos.
Yeah, thank you. That's very critical and a very good question. So far, is as we said before, the first step is we have to establish ourselves, and we are trying to do, is the groundwork to be done. Each function needs to be functional as we should be, but we can't wait until each and every function to be functional. Then so far, for example, lately we received an invitation from the United States. Then the USA, BITO, they have sent, it's what when we'll be ready. So we are responding their call just at this moment in time. Then we said we have accepted, it's by principle, as you said. We are not an island as Canada. We can't do alone because with the United States or UK, we are working toward one nation, which is Eritrea, which the people are suffering. So because of our location, it becomes, we are creating different, is region, Yeakl movement. But eventually this Yeakl has to come. So we are hoping now is just now is a matter of in our next door is United States. Then hopefully sooner. Just we don't have a date exactly when we come back. As counterparts to discuss the modality, what can be the practical side. Then I don't have is a tangible answer. But what I can tell you now is we have received the invitation, or we have already just responded, or we are in the process of responding actually. That letter, hopefully by next week, or we will send the letter. Then, because the board is discussing and then been approved, it will be sent the letter. This is which I have, which I know so far. Thank you.
All right, Fnan, go ahead. We have a couple of minutes before we go for break, and then we go to the final third phase.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly refer back to what you said about time management. I think we need to break these habits of not coming on.
Hang on, keep it up there just a moment. Ablain de la Hamankul.
Rahel.
Okay, what's up?
It's okay. كتصبيكم إيه.
حرة. أتريت أنا لك ما لديو.
دمنا تاني دكتور موغوس كل سؤال حسيباني ري.
Okay. Go ahead. بكم مونغو سلطة أتوزله. Go ahead. not going to congebber رابنا يتخلي نعمة هنكي دار. Go ahead, Rahel.
تشومون دي خوينا دا دولكو سندقنا خات حتى تشون اللامبر
دحاني وقريفنا أبتا قدين أتو.
أوكي. انتي خبل دليل بزعبات هذا حدثك كم ياكل موفمنت في أبغاتكم ترايدي تتوقبل كم يخب أبزي كندا ترايديو الكا حكي كان يرقمو. نحنا مجمريا نحنا ناي كندا أمبريلا دينا بلزلنا بدأ كندا وايد أبكا كتمانا خنحيل ليتو مجمريا زعرنا جن قون خاني مس كبابي نازل لها كلن مس بعلنا لندن دين ناي كلدين السات كم تمكرون كمول لنا مساعدات نسرح بزلنا من قدي دافنعنا مساعدات كنت سرح وقربات لنا جن نحنا نقدر نصدقنا حنا ونبلينا كم مدب كمان كابزوم ياكل موفمنت هجي لحد بالتكرم خفيتو ياكل موفمنت راي ساتفو السوت راي هون ترسو يأكل موفمنت زونن حدا فالتوقت تخفيتو كلنا أو آتينا تدمقراطاتنا كن اللالي خنفالك كم دمقراطات يمكن لاوت كم عينة مدوات كم زلوا بزنيا
كم زي كتب لخلقي درجة سجاد دلكي أبتان كالو أو وجبتاتنا يأكل تمثل لخي أنت عايز فيلنا أنت عايز فرحنا كندا وايد نحنا جزانا خنا تصرج لنا أنت يقو حفال له تصرج له سلمتاينا سجاد نحضر لنا مستنقل أوت زربنا خيني جمبر تايد سجادنا
لا تاي مثل كفرحات سجاد قال يكون نجين نعم نتحجي أب أمبريلا كندا ترينا بزحت كتمارات اللوا أو وشتي كندا زلوا جنا تناتنا وكلنا بسرعات زي مرتا مسرح زلوا قال اللوا نعاتنينا نتبذل نمبر ذا فرح ذا سقي لأن نبزح نوحات تبتي عند أنتوي من دكتور موغوس يقولتونيرو زمت أسب أبتي أكل موفمنت نقول إرترا وخفت سلزخوني أو زمت أسب قالس دلسة بعقمي بجنزبو بقلي نقول لي زحقه تحن تسجمنا نحنا نوعلنا زي جزياوي بورد غيمو زلو دحري 4 أشهر حتى بهايلني رخابتي كاب أغسطس جبرنا له كونفرنس حجي نسو أبو قوامي تنساقرو لنا مجمريا دحري مدبات يسرع يزلون موداتو قرصو متحازي لكأي كلنا بعالم درجة كله خابي زلو إرتراو تترنيفنا نزي أكل موفمنت نشوفون لكم نتاتينا نسرح زلنا بفرح بسجع كنصنعه قلي أيكونن ما تنن هنا أمريكا ناتهم لاتهم كاب قدلت كات سرح دبل زيت سلطة كان عين عدي سلط قلة تبل سلطة من قدي تزد دهم قول نتاتهم من دحيلو خدو نحنا دسين نجر قدامي كونفرنس غيرنا أو انتاي قد دخمت نيرنا كمينا أو عادي نحمي أنا انتاجنا كاو خاخنا مهارينا دا جناح جي قام كانوا وتينا قامي بايتو نوتينا ب4 أشهر حيلنا لنا هوب نسرح لنا نسعر لنا بتاع معلتنا نجرا قال نعدي انجليزي لو نعدي انجليزي نكمو اجينا هنا انت اذا لنا سقات يكونن ين تمكرات هاد بسيم جيجا غيركا دحري داتغاغ خاطخيد حدا جروبو خمزي جيرسي زي خمزا صقم نيراتنا هذا تصاوع خمز نيرنا او كلنا خمز صقم نيرنا تلزعجي بخمس فتحنا انت لومنا نحنا هي جمرنا وخي تغاغنا خلنا كل سلز قبرس مهم زياده بتن دات بحالنا ناي سرح متحوارن متحد غازنيو تمكرات بقصصانيو اجي انت دا سليتو حكي زاناي بالتوك تاشمو وصا زي بلا قال زي بلا ዘማኸሩ ዴቮሽን ተሓተት ነገርያ ኣብኡ ተመፅያ ኩላና ርሪቶና ሞዳቱ እቲ ህዝቢ ዝደልዮ ነገር ክግበር እንዲና እንደዘልና ህዝባዊ እዩ يأكل موفمنت مالنا فلذي كل نهز بريتوتات تبنيفو كل تي كمزي حيش كمزي حابس لبامات مهورات مدسيات كمزي نايبع الفنان هيرون زلوا ساتم كا أطبيهم أقدس تحجي مساتن كمزي لنتبقي سنة لوا نوزحت كالا أسكتلوا كمرحو نتي كالسي كل يتزل زلو حجي نعاتهم منسات رايو تتعاري وزكبر زلومبر دافر رح دسق قلا يقولون أيكونن كالسي سلزخوني مسرحات اللوت مسرحات محل فلنا مالتي.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rahel. 88.1 CKDU Voice of Eritrea. Go ahead, Fnan, you were interrupted.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, just to refer back to what Rahel said about like time management and all these things. And my observation is that this regime that has been put in place the past 20 years has really been out and determined to break down the generations. He controls everything. He's taught them not to have hope, vision, how to have the right ambition. He's taught us and brainwashed everyone to be depressed, to be oppressed. And I think we need to wake up and really value that every minute is a golden minute. Okay, so things can be changed in 1 year if we come on time, if we stick to deadlines, if we set up deadlines and time management, we can get a lot more done. It's even 1 hour you spend working on something can help for the next 6 months. So I think breaking this down and emphasizing how important it is and really getting out of our habit of not trying to keep quiet so that people don't get offended. This is not about offending. This is about helping us all to grow, like time management. Having changing our mental habits will definitely bring about change. And a lot of people that are not joining this movement need to understand that not everything is going to be served with cookies and creams and dessert when you come into movement. Nothing is always perfect. And people need to understand if they want perfection, they also have to join. You know, we need to have this understanding that not everything is going to be a silver platter. Not everything is going to be perfect. People need to join and bring ideas and come on board. So I think time management needs to be emphasized in every movement in the cities, coming on time, having deadlines, and having written goals and visions of where the direction that we want to be headed in. There's a lot of work ahead of us. So I think when you value and appreciate time, and time you can't get back, but money you can. So I think that's very important to our success. And notifying if you can't make it, just the communication, I think that's an area that we need to grow the communication and being more open to discussions about how we can grow, like, you know, doing an evaluation.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Heron, do you share with concern or statement of Fnan about time? Do you have a problem with our society's punctuality?
Yes, yeah, I agree with Fnan. We need to do better. Like, we need to have better work ethic. It just shows how professional and organized we are. If you're not on time, if you're not respecting people's time, how are they going to respect us? We need to show them that we're serious about this and we're professional. So time management and punctuality is very important. So it just shows us how dedicated we are to the movement. Because if you're late to work, obviously, like, you know, you lose something, or you might also like lose your job. But like just showing how dedicated and how much respect you have for the movement just brings more people in, because they believe in you. They're like, okay, they're serious about this. They know what they're doing. So yeah, we need to be more professional.
Thank you.
Is very important.
Dr. Mogos, what's the remedy?
Yeah, the same thing. For me, that one is the most difficult, frustrating issue I have. We try it here is all the time. Wherever people they come, if they are 10, just we start our meeting. That's where we start. So still people, that is part of, as I said before, the societal readiness for change. This is where we need to change also. Because, in our job or in our studies or whatever we do, we are on time. Then why is it becomes difficult not to come on time? Because for me, from young age, I believe, if someone is late by 1 hour, he's still, from my age, 1 hour. I become 48 in 1 hour. I told them even in the city meeting also the same story. So if we do consistently if we meet on time, then those who came on, is on time, they become, finish on time, then they can do their planning accordingly. Otherwise, if we wait for latecomers, then we are disadvantaging those who came on time. So right. I believe, it's time, that one. Thank you.
88.1 CKDU of Eritrea. We're going to go back to surface. We take a break for 3 minutes. 902-494-2487. Call us and join the discussion. All right. We are coming. Already we have been here for 2 hours. We got another 45 minutes left. And we were talking about election in Canada. Hang on a moment. Hi, who are on the line? Rahel, okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
no, go ahead. نخوم عندي تخفيت زلوزي ده حنا السكر.
I think Rahel Fnan لعلخلو زم يعني هيرون فنانن كم هاتكن كندشح زخونا خدس حنا نهاتكن كارج نهاتكن بصراحة نبوزحات كتصلوا ملو تسفى نقبر كلهم سلستيهم كدكتور موغوس فنان and هيسران تقبروز اللهم يبحكي عنان كندا وكيلكم زغيركم سنبت معلت كل نجر قديفكم كم زغيركم نهزبكم حضرتك تكتبوا ما ببالكم يمسكن ناسكا مخان فينيو يبحكينا ناسكن كالرفاي أقدمكم انتهز بلد فنان دي ورك مخان فديتنا زي نحنا إرترا كلها نترى إذا تطويعها بجزيها زي منسا نعا خنكالفا I think نقبر زلنا أفتا ساعتا سرحنا جميرنا كلتا سلسة معال تخسر أحمد سيجن أفتعتنا هنجمر تجميرنا دومخان يحيش دخون زي الحسوة لنا نخما أفتا ساعتك جميرك ودي خات خيط زي مثلا قاموا جيرنا كان عريرو نخوني لي حسمو يبحكي زي كاب كله أفتاك هذا خبتي هذيك ألتي تلينا قداك من أتسمعني.
Alright, thank you. اسكي جيزهم إذن زلكم تسمعون تدعى لهم لو مميشت ساعات تشعت دي حكي أخي بعض الله
نو ساعات حموشتي بأنا فانكوفر ساعات حموشتي أخي بعض مشتي أبتا أخي بعضنا ترخيبنا
حموشتي فانكوفر شمونتي كالجري مالي دي حكي فنان
Yes, 6 o'clock Calgary time.
تشعت تورونتو
No,
تورونتو شاين شمونتي تشعت هاليفاكس مالتي
ስለዚህ
ዞም እዝን ዘለኩም ትሰምዑ ተደአሊኹም ብዛዕባ ግዜ ኢና ነዛረብ ዘለና ኩሉ ሰብ ስራሕ ኣለዎ ኩሉ ሰብ ናብራ ኣለዎ ወደይ በክተሳይም ክወስድ ዶንጌ ካልኦት ከቤተ ክርስቲያን እንዲኮሉ ደመስለኩም ግን ኮሚትመንት ናይ ሃገር ጉዳይ ክኾን ከሎ ነቲ ሓንቲ ሰዓት ክልተ ሰዓት ሳክሪፋይስ ጌርካ ክትመፅእ ኣለካ ኣዘርዋይስ ገለገሊና ብጣዕሚ ዝሕዝን ساعات شمونتي تورونتو تايم تباهيلو تشعتن فرقان كموصو خلوسي نعوم كتزرار بيلس كان دحيت كتملس مالديو ويس مصي انيرن مبليو اذا قدفنا انت دانا بحق ابقى سنه تخينا بساعتنا ترخيبنا انت تقلسنا يعيش يغني لي ثانك يو راهيل
هو مجمرخه زي ما كما فلاي وكلتي لوخات ناي تزبنا خوينا زمصنا نسول الكله نسو أبنت كون يقبأ هالساعات كانت فيها حمش تدا كي كسرتها دقيمة فنان زولتها تايم ميسكولت كما مخنا عملنا كتفنا تخيل ناسي كود داخلي تتسجم دونجيز ما تأسف إننا عندك مول لنا تاي كم نقول سنحنا حدا خمت في لاب تليكونفرنس كون كله تقول تم مت عيسى معن تتسجم معتي زلوا أتا ساعتنا تمسينا جن تسرح ناس حتى رابيلنا قبل رابيلنا نخيد كل سبب من مدبلو زي هيوت لقى كويناتيو لقى قال سنة ولا زلنا هيوت كمان قال سيو زي أمخنا عملنا كلها نخيب بعضهم بمعدنا إذ تلونا لذي قبل رابيلنا تحلالينا تجهيدنا نحنا عبدنا نكون يزبلمو قبل بنحضره thank you very much تبو معلتي تبو سنبت علنا ساعتها مشترك بنا بوغني ودي لهم زيا
thank you 88.1 CKDU Voice of Eritrea. No matter what, you can interrupt us if you have a point of view or if you have a caution, it doesn't matter. What I was saying is now that we have reached in the last fete, which is already we have done for 2 hours. We only have now 45 minutes to discuss. Where do we take from here onward, Yeakl? How do we approach foreign dignitaries, or how do we make our foreign relation? And if we did that, what is the impact of it when we introduce ourselves with the foreign dignitaries? Hang on a minute. أبلاين دل خامن كبر.
هاي ناس جزاء حابس كوني فيك.
هاي جزاء خميتون.
ده حد عنيها.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you ناس عبد الزهاب كاني إن شاء الله تجد سنحنا أمون نزوم أبى تستطيعوا زلهم حواتم بلايتنا حادمة كان مسجنين اللاينا فنان كاب كالجري هيرون كاب تورنتو دكتور موغس لذي تجبركم مو ملفتن بتعمل بوزغنا مدبن مسجنكم ناس كا أجيجور you are at the forefront on this one and we really thank you بتعمل صبق مدرتات نيرو نتن دكني بتلاقي ناي دكنسيو أبز عد زعابي دات نوالدن بتلاقي نبر مدرتي أنا نعاق الله يدلي كنتي أمناي تورنتو فيستيفال تزاربنا يو the young generation بتلاقي born and raised here fully زخون حالة في النتن and potential للوم زيادة أنا بقول موجوس كلاس كنقدر بجو أتفق على أجت أمتى تغيرنا لميرنا فلاك أدك نستيقظ it's very very important كنقرأكم إيش أجت أمتى this was back in I think 2011 or 12 أبزي ناي أسرع عمت I think 2011 بانكونا لابزي وينتي كم تنايرنا هذا نهيما رايت exhibition بمخنيات سبتمبر 10 شمون تجيرنا نيدا هديتي University of Winnipeg sponsor غيرنا كابتم نايزم global college بحالو عاوز نبر الدين حجي member senate ناي كندا زلا نيرا مالتي جت المثل مدام مدلاو نا أخذنا خن الزراربا كم زحاسيبنا دنا كم زمادات هذا نايلنا زوات إيفنت كحجزنا خن الزراربا كلنا سبب سباكنا خيرنا كلنا أو داتنا مالتي. So, and the first question she asked us was this one: where are the women in Latin? There is Azia. From the connection that are in Latin Latin. كل جزء من ذكرى مالتي how much important it is, especially ما أبناء Canadian government زلوا وأبناء public صراحة ترى ده كنسيو أبناء civic groups بولو تريو ولا ناي رفيجات بوكسي بولو ناي كوميونيتات بوكسي بولو بزوج جزء تندك نسيو دمور حقوق عالسيو أبانا خاء قرب عالطاري مثل for many reasons مالتي. So we are very encouraged to see كم بعد فنان كم بعد هيرون نتين كمرحانة كعليانا من البعد ما نيأكل فولي كافي هذا فولي بزوج نجارات فوليات نارية فولي نجارات نارية نارية أكل بالطارز من كسرات هذا فليس جبرها سيران على الناس دكنسيو بعوز السرعة اللو أقطع متاس بيجلو بعوزي هذا أنا عبد ما نقولنا تعري لنا بس لك أصلا كأ نتكلم مع عاجتين بدفلتين كتباب عن تسمع قبر. Thank you very much ناس.
كيف تكاخلها جزاي هنسا كيف تكاخلها أب جزء عالسي كابتجمر قليل جزء كونن نوح جزء خوينيو بمسرتها كاب مانيتوبا جمركا مانيتوباهم بزح عاوز قوانا صفكم مونا له كابتي جزيز جمركا له هجي تساتفون هذيك نسيخ ما يتريو
سماي مدريني ناس بتعمي أي كاربون كتب تخليها وانتي زي المونا فلاي زي كنت شان شعاتن بجمرنا الأول كعسر تعبت كان بحج أكتوبر ينيرو probably أزي محدات ينيرنا أنا أتم تساتفتي أبزو وانا زينا يأكل كفريق الغاغم بتعمي أزيين بزحات هذي كنا نفعت تجديسا لذي خلصي كحالي كحرعون جديدة أزيين بزحات لكنسيان اللي صارفوا زلا أولي في برادي كنا دما كنت ردان أمول خانادا إلي آمن أمول عالوين زينا يأكل من كسواس لكنسيان بزحي دعاس لازم دعالي ينزل الله من كسواسي نابنا بغدامة يابزنا ود كابوز جبرنايسي في بزعبنا محبر دكنسيو أبناء ماني تبادل الله قرب من اقتصاد تقريبا نيران ولا كباب لما دبل أتاني نيرو يكنسي the difference مالك بدعمين الزحف اللي كم دلوسي بحاجة نيري أزلنا سلزخونة إذا مشغاناز يس سللي أزيبو زحي تسيقا قبط حال بدعم زي التابع عنا قابط اسمه بحاكي ناب تبقى أنفوتي قدسل كم زلو ناي كله كلاتات نحبرة تسرنا بفلاي دماء ناي دكنسيو تساتفو ظهر رأي الغنزلو إذا نايحك نعوث مبد مغانو يظهر نازلو سلزغونا يأكل I think we are on the right direction بوزعنا قرات كتر فناي مخنياتو كبور نقر كتركب كبور كتكفل سلادلكا in terms of تساتفو ناي دكنسيو بن الجوامرات بغارلو كابزلو زيادة عبد ما بدعم البلد أي مالك هذا example أنت أبو زعج زيت مثل in fact أبو زعقيباتات لنا يأكل أبتفل عليه تمثل زربانتها سبعين سبعين أبتي أكل أنت لو why is that always سبعين دقيقة هذا جيزة السبعين دكوا هيزو أبغز يصرف تندك نسيو يصرفه مالك it doesn't have to be نربط babysitting ركب ذيك على أنت قوينه ويكال أدركت ذاتهم دكتها تتعوط اللهم تزي تاريخي بقى بحالسا كنت كنت تزي كيلتا تسابعي بزو تاريخو بس دكو يوعب إتها سبيتها أبكي معرفة تسابعي ويكال إليو أبتغاسي متى كتساتف أبتغ أخيباتها كتساتف it doesn't have to be
so بقارة أزار أرسل ولا سوء تساتفوسي عفنا يدك ناين السومين مهنياتو نايقذات راح أسر ذلو ساتن نايقذات راح أتكعما خلوان نسوخ أبتني هاقر قداي ساتف يحتو لله
yes صبو ساو الله داسا تقول لك زيت البرز نبرات انديا قرن حجون تي بفلاي وين تي كانسسي نسم بمنتاي يري او انتاي عنجل اينا more important issue بحال اتي empowerment كما تدحر كوينو بعلون independently كما ساكر لا اللون إزوليتي حسابات مالتي
thank you ريا فنان كتزارب حسب كني لكي أبناي غزائي
No,
I thought I heard your voice. Okay.
No, I just said thank you, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Gazai.
Okay, bye.
Good. What we are talking about election Canada. First of all, that we have to know which. Okay. Who is online? Go ahead. Okay, Professor. Go ahead.
بزعما ذا جزائي تزاربان رحل تزاربستان بزعما ناي أخيراتها حسب الذي I have some idea.
Okay.
at conference جعلنا بزكري conference كافلي ناي academic conference مالتي كلهم نقصهم عليه بتقريني زار برنو سلذي بزح تكنولوجي نتكلمينها أنا 3-4 جزء بزوم غيره بكال ناي electronic communication device غيره يقربنا في بيبر ويكافلي حسابي هذي أجي أبتي physically درخو مبلغ أخي بعضه محل خاص قالوا limitation وخلياته بالجزيريو ويسرح يتعمل كان هو ويقال لكن بزحج زلوا تكنولوجي قدنو كهولو خنبل تزكي ناجن تي زلوا تكنولوجي ستقيناون تسب قاليو ليطعمو أبغزو خلو أرت أخيرا virtually كان ذكرتن كنقدر نخيلنا لقنا ክትገብሩ ትኽእሉ ኢኹም ስለዚ ንዕኡሲ ንጥቀመሉ ብዙሕ ኣሎ
We've done that, Professor. Zoom ንጥቀም ኢና ዋትስኣፕ ንጥቀም ኢና ዘይተጠቐምና መንገዲ የለን ኣብ ሓንጎል ናይ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ንሰዓት ምኽባር ግን ክንኣትዎ ኣይከኣልናን
እዎ ግን እቲ ሰዓት ኣብነት ብለካሲ ሕጂ ኣነ ኣይፈለጥኩም ግን ከም ሓሳብ እኛ መፅዕትኒ እቲ ኤሌክትሮኒክ ብፍላይ ሕጂ እንዳማዕበለ መፅእ ስለ ዘሎ ቪርቹዋል እንዳኾነ ማለት እዩ ንዕኡ ዝያዳ ተቢዕና ምናልባት እውን ወርክሾፕ ሂብካ እውን ነቲ ግራስሩትስ ዘሎ ኤሪትራዊ ከመይ ገይርኩም ትጥቀመሉ ወዘተ ኢብካ ብኸምኡ እውን ተወሳኺ ማለት እንተ ተቐፀለ እቲ ኮሚኒኬሽን ዝያዳ ይምዕብል It is the communication which is important.
That's true.
At any level. ስለዚህ ንሱ እውን እዞም ሰለስተ ኣሕዋት ዶክተር ሞጎስ ራሄል sorry not Rahel
Fnan
and
Heron
ብጣዕሚ ፅቡቅ ኣክቲቪቲ እዮም ዘካይዱ ዘለዉ ግን እዚታት ከዓ ኮንሲደር እንደዝገብሮ ብፍላይ ቶም መንእስያት እውን ክርከቡ ምስ ተኽእሉ ሓንሳብ ምስ ጀመሩ it is addiction ክቕፅልዎ እዮም ተኣኺባ እቲ ካልእ ኢንተረስቲንግ ገለ ሰባት እንዳዓደምካ እውን ኣስተምህሮ ከምታት ዓይነት እንተ ተቐፂሉ we will see active participation of the young.
True.
That's very important.
True. By the way, Fnan is a mastermind of our Yeakl group on Zoom or WhatsApp or name it. She have tried everything and she's always successful. Thank you.
Relentless effort قدري. مخنياتو أبو زحات university تصرحيهم صرحوا لهم دكتور مغوس مثلا وين كالوت يفولتوهم حجي دارغا لكاف فيزيكا لخيتكا جانا من بورتلاند اوريغون كيدا وين لوس انجلوس كاليفورنيا خيدا خابز عبزو خينا بالشوالس يقرب كومي حجي تلاميذ زول مخنياتو جزيد جولديو إلى فنان زيادة تعمل سلزي في تفتيح النظر ناي communication عدلات
نتقمل
وسخ أن تقملوا مالتي.
Thank you, Professor. Okay. So, what I was trying to say is, unfortunately, as an Eritrean,
we are heading to the election.
Yes, that's where I am heading. And unfortunately, as an Eritrean, we raised and born in a country where you cannot vote or you cannot elect. Of course, during Haile Selassie time, there was voting for parliamentary. I don't know about Derg, but for the last 30 years since independence, we have never voted. We don't even know what does mean voting, or we have never even presented ourselves to be elected. When we run from our country, we come here with that mentality. Also, wherever we live, the voting, it looks like it doesn't have any impact on us, but it does have a big impact for us. Because the way we run for our country, the way we abandoned our country is because of the freedom, because of human rights violation. One of the most freedom gift is voting on democratically way. So at this time when we come here, regardless what business we have, what time we have to contribute or the time to go and vote to whoever you believe that will be beneficiary to the country as well to Eritrea. Therefore, our group here, the younger generation, they are trying to lobby to the new elected leaders how much impact that it have, what the content of the letters. Are you going to be physically face to face asking to the electors, or you just handing out letters? I want to know about this, and also I want to know what impact does it have to speak with the situation of Eritrea. Fnan already have started quite long time ago, But I will give the chance to Dr. Mogos.
Thank you, Naz. Yeah, this is very important. I was mentioning before too, because in each of the board members, the representative of the city, we have that letter. We have drafted and we commented on the letter. The content of the letter is just, it has 5 components, which is about the human rights protection in Eritrea, which is, we spoke, it's in massive, which we know, all of us. So we are trying to, is to give that letter to the candidates. For example, in my city, I have given to the Liberal Party. I'm waiting for them to call us and to have a meeting with them. But last Thursday, I handed in the letter. So I am hoping also each of us, the representative of the city, and also others, anyone who are following, is this discussion, to take that letter from your city representative if they don't have time, and to hand in to any potential candidate, so that our voice can be heard. The one issue is, as I said, human rights protection in Eritrea. As we know, it is, is going from bad to the worst. So what we put the question is, what your party do, Eritrean government, to improve the situation in Eritrea, because they can have ways, once if they've been elected, they can have ways, to convince. The second issue is we are going to about the Canadian business operating in Eritrea. We know now is just one Canadian, the mining company was operating for the last many years in Eritrea. Been now is at the rule of court in Canada, in Vancouver, so which is Nobson mining industry, which is the use-free labor, which is slaves. So we are making them, is to make the government of, is these candidates, to make them aware. What will you do, your party, to hold Canadian business accountable, is for the business doing, especially in Eritrea, because because not only us, also we can also lobby with other African, is brothers, to help us. The third issue is we put on the letter is the Eritrean refugee and the solution. We know now is where is Naz and the other friend were doing their best to free the prisoners in Ukraine and Russia. There are a number of our refugees in Libya. They are suffering in Ethiopia and Sudan. So already the refugees of Libya have been now start to innovate to Rwanda. Even we have to think about the Rwandan government, is not for now, but at the later stage, but at this point in time, because all of us, we have the right to vote, and also we have to ask them what they will do, to provide protection of these citizens, because we are fighting for them. Then they have suffered a lot already in Bakum. They shouldn't continue to suffer. Where they are, and in jails in different areas.
Sure. So
the fourth issue, which let me finish that too, then the peace and stability is under the leadership now, is after, is we know now is the peace been, is signed, which is a fake deal in Eritrea and Ethiopia, which affects the whole Horn of Africa, and since the Mediterranean Sea is very important to all nations, then the Canadian also, the party leaders, we have, to influence them. What will they do to improve the situation? And, is to have, transparency, to have democracy, so that everybody can benefit, because thousands of ships are passing through Mediterranean Sea. The number 5, the last one, is protection of Eritrean and Canadian and their institutions. We know now is in Ethiopia. We know now in Sudan, people were kidnapping by Eritrean government. Already what we know here is also, just before I came in for 5-6 years, those 2% illegal collection of levy, the Canadian government, through the advocacy of the Eritrean Canadian, then the embassy being closed down, or the consulate. So we have to we are trying to lobby with the candidates, so that they can have protection to our institutions, to our privacy, and so on. These are the content of the letter. I'm hoping the listeners, they can take that letter and they can deliver in wherever they are. Thank you.
Now, when you are talking about the mining company in Eritrea. Are we talking that the companies, they don't meet the labor standard of the world, or are we talking about the child labor that are being abused by the system of Eritrea?
No, the first one, exactly what, because there is, it's because we don't want, because of the interest of time, there is no, I don't want to go to the detail, because there is already, is the labor law, is international labor law exists. Where it requires minimum standard of pay, a minimum standard for environment. But it's knowing this one is just without knowledge of government of Canada, the business of Canadians being invested in Eritrea, being exploited, become part of the problem, part of our suffering. So now we have to come out vocal about this issue.
All right.
So we have to give them credit for Canadian government. So far they give resettlement program under the humanitarian protection. We give them a lot of credit in this one, but still a lot to be done. Thank you.
All right, Fnan, what impacts or what power does have the government of Canada on individual Canadian companies in order to stop the mining or to ameliorate it, to make it better, the living standard, the living condition, or to push them to meet the labor law standard? What power that the Canada government do you think you have?
Okay, good question. The Canadian government is known for their humanitarian efforts in a lot of communities, okay? But we have to meet them halfway as well. We have to get involved. We have to participate in the campaigns, going to our MPs. You can find your MP. You can just Google it. And for all kinds of people to just go to their MPs, speak to them, emphasize to them, like Dr. Mogos said, setting up appointments, speaking with the ministers, speaking with the MPs. I myself have been fortunate to have build a relationship with our ministers here in Calgary, and the Canadian government doesn't help. The members of Parliament, the ministers, don't help us because they want the votes. This is something that Canada does. And Canada has allocated $730 million in funding towards humanitarian work to communities and organizations. They're especially sensitive to children that are 18 years of age and older. 18 years of age and under, they do help, and they have programs especially for those things. But it is our job to make our humanitarian requests known. We have to be specific, and they mentioned that to me, that our requests have to be specific. So it's our job to just make sure that we stick to the humanitarian issues in Eritrea, in Ukraine, in Russia. We can mention those things, but we cannot get out of context. However, it's our duty to do that part as well. And they have helped communities in the past, like the Iraqi community with the Daesh perpetrators. They've helped them, they fund, they build campaigns and organizations for the people there. So, but it's because that community went and made sure they made their voices known. And in order for us to stand out, we have to be specific, because in election time, there's a lot of businesses and communities who give money, millions of dollars, to the campaigns. And when they give, so we have to be able to stand out as well, because we need to cut, it's what's in it for them as well. So when we have demands and requests, we have to make sure that we become specific, because there's a lot of people that are coming out and who have a request as well. So we need to just put the simplicity back into it, make our requests specific, because they have a lot of people who are funding these campaigns for them. So we need to understand that we need to stand out. We can't demand too much, but let's just focus on the humanity issue, because they can also help us financially as well. And with that being said, we need to make sure that we are all getting involved and contacting our MPs, the ministers, and seeing what they can do and how we can ask questions and how we can work together. I think that's very important. We need to learn to stand up, because as much as we're doing it, there's a lot of communities who are writing letters to the House of Commons, to to their MPs, bombarding them on a daily basis about their communities, their issues. So we need to understand that in order for us to find favor and to get help, we need to be specific and target the humanity issue, because that's where we're going to get the help. But in my opinion, if we talk about the businesses in BC that are working in Eritrea, that's a business. That has nothing to do with the government. So I think that's an area that we need to be careful and be cautious, and because we want to build our bridges, not burn them.
Okay.
So that is what I have to say about that.
And Heron, do you agree with the statement of Fnan that the government's business and human rights are two separate things? According to her, the government does not have much power to say about individual companies that are operating by the name of Canada in Eritrea. What do you think about it?
I think the government still has a say. It's still an individual company, but there's something called corporate social responsibility, right? They have to operate within the realms of law. Like that, they can't just abuse power or ignore international labor law. If we're using slave labor, they can be questioned and they can be brought to justice. Just because they're an individual company doesn't mean they get away with it. They have their authority and autonomy, but they still have to abide by Canadian laws and international laws. So we can still pressure the Canadian government to act.
Very good.
They're violating corporate social responsibility.
Very good. Since the Canadian government doesn't believe or condone the slavery work or child labor, then I guess if the Masfin, the company in Vancouver, did not met the standard of labor law, then the government of Canada have a word to say, because also it implicates them, in other words, because it's a Canadian company. Yeah, very good explanation, Heron. I thank you. Now, Dr. Mogos, you mentioned about the dispute between Ethiopia and Eritrea. The Canadian governments have to do something. Or whatever the candidate you're going to meet, you're going to mention this accordingly to. Now, first of all, the deal that we made a few months ago between Ethiopia and Eritrea is invalid because it was not with the consent of all Eritrean people. It was almost a deal between Abiy and Isaias. Secondly, Ethiopia has refused to accept the Algeria agreement. Now, what can the Canadian government do?
No, generally, it is very difficult. If you go to the detail, it will take us to another issue. But here, generally, what we are asking in the letter is the peace.
Yeah, but we ask them this kind of question. What do you think they're going to accomplish?
No. What we are saying, the peace, because we know now is what we are asking in the letter is peace and stability in the Horn of Africa.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you look at now, is because the Canadian, if you look at the trading they do with Chinese, is I don't have the figure, but a lot. So because that will if you look at the Horn of Africa generally, everyone is computing for the state. So now if there is peace and stability or democracy in general in Eritrea, in the Horn of Africa, that will benefit Canadians in terms of the trading, in terms of the investment they do, with the one we mentioned. So everything will benefit for them. So as a result, is not only then it will create win-win situation to all of us.
But how?
So how? Yes, if it's stable now, is all the is look at the piracy issue, part of the instability in the Somalian issue. Not only don't look at Eritrea and Ethiopia, the whole region. Look at the Yemeni issue. So now that will start, is the whole, they have, is not only the Canadian government. The Canadian government also, they can, love Chinese, they can love United States. But the result, they can create mutual, benefit to all of them. So as a result, that will benefit all of us. So now is the trading, 80% of the world trading is passing through Mediterranean. So if that's the case now so that imagine the investment is passing through that channel. So the whole Middle East. So if they maintain democracy, we will have peace and stability as a nation, as individuals in our nation, and also we benefit the whole region, and also it will benefit, is the rest of the world. So now Canada is as one of, is the strong team, and they care about, two issues. One is for the interest of business. The second is the interest of the public who they are living in that area. So in that context now is the MP who is going to be elected. He can put in mind and he can think about it. And they can, if they don't do it now, they might think and just, okay, they can look at, okay, there is this, then what can we do? They might give even, is a better idea from what we propose. So we are trying, it's from, and there's one way is just if we pause, it's something, it might give you eventually out of it some benefit. That is the whole idea. Thank you.
Okay, Fnan, as Mogos was trying to say, that peace and stability in the region also, they might have impact like Canadian government and so on. Do you believe that peace is going to come by foreigners, or do you think peace and stability that comes within us? We are a human being. We have a brain. We have under colonization for 60 years. We didn't move farther. Still, we are there on that kind of mindset. And now, do you think also you have to look at it by Iraq failed. Still, they're starting now, they start war. Syria failed. Wherever they go, the Western world to create a peace and stability, they have failed. Do you think they will have an impact to create peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, in particular in Eritrea?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. I believe that we can bring change. I believe that we have it within us. We have it within us to revoke everything that has been done, the damage that has been done. However, it starts from your home. It starts from us. We have started this, and if we keep the consistency, if we build relationships with the Canadian communities, like the members of parliament, the ministers, through other influencers, there's so many things, through journalists, through media. This is just to bombard the situation, to bring it out there. But the real change comes from within us. We cannot stop, but we have to demand it. But when we demand it, we also have to take caution and make sure we stick to the humanity issues that are going on in Eritrea. And definitely that way we can make progress as we go on. If we don't find one way today, doesn't mean we're not going to find it tomorrow. But it will get us closer to seeing that change. But I think now, I definitely believe even more now than I did 8 months ago when I just started, because a lot of people are coming out. A lot of people are okay now with Yeakl and slowly, gradually being open. They might not be coming out, but eventually they will. So just because things are happening in other countries doesn't mean that it's like there's never going to be stability in Eritrea. It starts from us. We have to demand it. We have to put our foot down. And once we do that, then the other people will know our determination, our consistency, especially when we are working in order. Like, we're registered, we have a website, people are coming out, there's diversity happening. That will definitely open up the bridge for us to find favor with leaders and people that have the seat and the platform to do that. So I don't think it's impossible. Sometimes it seems impossible because we've never seen it, but it is possible for us to make that change and that drive. But we have to start keeping the consistency and people coming abroad and joining. That's important. The numbers count. We need numbers. If we're going to go to the UN, if we're going to go to our Prime Minister, the numbers will open doors for us. So
right.
that's the one thing. Yeah.
Okay, Heron, what do you think about it? While we as a human being, whether
I agree.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with what Fnan and Dr. Mogos said, but I feel like when you rely on the international community or from to get help from the UN, because usually everybody acts in their own self-interest, right? They only act when they want to act. So I think it should come from us, like from Eritreans. It should come from inside Eritrea. Like peace, stability, it should come from us. Like we can never trust someone else to give us peace, because our own our country, our own. And then we have to differentiate between our foreign policy and our own domestic affairs. Because you know how the regime was saying the reason Eritrea is so bad is because they have problems with Ethiopia, but then that was not the case. It's the regime was our problem, not Ethiopia. We had the border dispute, the war, and then the no war, no peace situation. But then that's just an excuse. We can still work on our foreign policy and foreign affairs, but our own peace and stability is within Eritrea, from our own people, from us. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Dr. Mogos, it's a very large issue what we are talking here, but by minimizing it, because we don't have any time. When we are always talking that peace, stability, the Western people, the countries have to do this, have to do that. We even understand the impact that the Western, as you said, peaceful in Horn of Africa might be beneficial to them. So one might say, contrary to what you believe, skirmish and war is more beneficial to the West. What do you think about this?
You see, if you look at right now, things are changing. You know, the resources are getting smaller, because we are the one you are mentioning. If it had been 20 years, you know, it's from the war. They sell their weapon. They live, you know, the benefit on you know, is on our conflict and so on and so on. Now is look at. So now if you look at right now, Chinese, they manage, you know, is trading with Africa. Then they teach us to Africa now is instead of aid, we start to trade with Chinese. Now in the west side, the United States and the Alliance, they come up and they see, you know, it's from the political point of view. They try to influence. If you look at, you know, in general in Africa, in the Horn Africa, you know, is to reach out to the influential. Then when the influence now is, then that's where is the problem now. That's what they are trying to do now. From outside, as we said, the first thing is if we organize very well, you know, with this Yeakl, then if they see we have a potential to take over our nation, they will come to us. At this point in time now, if they don't have any alternative, then there is scarce resources where they want to benefit. The trading they want to do, you know, is in a volume to the Red Sea. So all those kind of things. So,
although I believe I want to agree with you for what you are saying, but we have to look back also in the country we came from. For example, Ghana, one of the first countries that achieved independence on the black Africans, 1956. Nigeria, Sudan, most of them they have achieved independence. But the cyber war now, okay, as you say, okay, before they used to buy weapons, on the cyber war now is totally different. The liability. Now, they come to us. They have come to us, not first one only, twice, 3 times. If I could mention, beside Mazfoon, there was the Chinese. Beside that, there was the British shell company, American company, also to research oil and everything in Eritrea. They will come to us because they know there is potential there. But the problem, what I'm trying to explain to you, is that the reality they are given back to the people for exploiting their land, 7%. Do you think by creating peace and stability, exploiting your resources by giving you 7% back to you, is that efficient to create a peaceful nation? Or
No.
Yeakl have to come back with something workable system?
No. Let me give you something which is is concrete. In 2007, the European companies, one independent, they are it's kind of consultants, is one research group. They've been requested by the industrial companies in Europe. 41 raw material is coming. They used to come from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So now they mention three things in their study at the end of the time. One is the sustainability. Now it's not going to be certain because African, they came together now and they are changing their policy, number one. Number two, the African now they start to establish their own industry. This is a threat for them. Number three is the environmental issue. They start to consider Africa as a nation. Then what do? Then they were saying, okay, there is now a timely issue, which is climate change. Say Germany, they are giving 2 billion euro over 5-7 years to Africa to mitigate climate. So that they were saying that to create win-win situation. The second is they were recommending to give what you call policy synchronized among African nations. Look at now is the 10 years back, the one you were explaining. Now this is the season I'm talking to you. As I speak to you, this is what is happening right now. So the climate change, they start, is to create some, is climate.
Okay, make it short. We don't have time now.
Okay, then what I'm telling you is there is an opportunity now. If
now, Fnan or Heron, Africa need partners or donors? Because what we are talking here is to get money from the West and this and that. Do we need donors or do we need partners to exploit our resources? Which one is the best way?
My opinion, the best way is, well, we need both. But right now, we're in a situation where we need someone to get these people removed. Like, we need them to be held accountable. Like, they need to be removed. And I believe that we can work. Like we definitely need funds too. It would be great if it would go hand in hand. But right now, the main thing is really like.
Fnan, it doesn't go hand in hand. They have to have one choice. The Africans, we have to make a choice. Do we need donors? Will be poor always. Partners 50-50 to exploit our association. At least we have to say something on our own resource. So which one is beneficial? Which one is workable for us?
That's what I said. I mentioned it'd be great, but it's not going to happen. However, right now we need someone to exploit this. We need people to intercede on our behalf and say this is not acceptable because this is a humanity violation. Okay, so that's what my answer is. That's what we need right now, the urgency.
Okay.
Just one thing, Naz, before we leave. Look, now is African nations, all they have been signed an agreement, is to start, is investment policy as synchronized. And the second is the free mobility of resources, which is money, raw material, and human. Only Eritrea, just the dictator, he doesn't want to sign that agreement.
Yeah, I know.
So look at now is the whole situation where we were mentioning the stability now. He becoming the problem to the whole Africa. Then remember also the African leadership is changing. Sudan is changing now, which is relatively a young, is attitude or inclusive system is coming on board.
All right.
So if that the case, is we have an impact as citizens if we come in. And also imagine. Maybe I can say 60% or 60% of our people, we are living outside. If we are living, then we have an influence, with whatever we do right now. So that's very important now is just to think about stability and security. Because security is both, which is emotion, it's also security is, it's sustainable. So all those kinds of things are very relevant to us. So, but we have to be united, as Fnan say, let's talk about the issue. If they don't know it, the first thing, as he said, when you talk, the first thing is they ignore you. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. The second
right.
is they start to listen and eventually they follow it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mogos. Thank you, Fernand. Thank you, Heron. I'll give you 1 minute each closing statement. I'll start by Heron.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me today and giving me the opportunity to give my thoughts and express my thoughts. I just want to encourage everyone. Change is possible and it's going to come. We just have to keep moving. We should never stop. Even if we get it wrong, we'll get it right. Like eventually. It doesn't matter when or how, but we'll get it right. So I just encourage everyone to come out and support the movement and to work together rather than against each other. So unity is our power, and we should unite and work together for Eritrea's future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Fnan, go.
Okay, first off, I would like to express my gratitude and take the time to recognize the efforts of those who kept the struggle alive for so long is well and long overdue, so thank you. I also would like to give an enormous thanks and appreciation to my Yeakl Canada-wide family, working endlessly in front and behind the scenes to keep this movement alive and vibrant, and thank you to you and Naz, Dr. Mogos, and Heron. And your consistency and drive has really encouraged me to strive even more. And I would like to call to action Eritreans residing in Diaspora of all ages and creeds to take a stand to rise for unity and justice so that we can birth and live in a new Eritrea. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Dr. Mogos?
I thank you. And first of all, as I said, for Voice of Eritrea, for giving us the opportunity for the voice of Canada-wide, and Senitna.com for recording and airing, and also for our listeners. And now is which we would like to mention is we reached the struggle on the era where, in the previous struggle it was more physical, which is a weapon. Now it is mental struggle, where we need our elders, is to bring us to the struggle and to hold us and to work with us all the way until we get a freedom. So I am hoping in future the youth, they will come in numbers, and then our elders, they will guide us whatever we do. If we are wrong, to bring us to the right direction. If we do a good thing, also to say good job. Thank you.
88.1 CKDU, Voice of Eritrea. Today we made a special program for English because we're trying to outreach Canadian or American Eritreans who were born and raised in this country. Usually we did by Tigrinya, but I think it was all success. Slash that no participants from the younger generation. Probably in time they might come and slowly. Other than that, for next Sunday, we will have a program, Higher Education. Compare and contrast higher education in Eritrea before and higher education now. And what do we have to do? What kind of preparation do we need to salvage Eritrea with Yeakl? Which it means to salvage the situation because before it comes worst. Soon as we get our freedom to stand up and recreate what we lost it. After that, we might have quite a few people from Norway, from Sweden, and so on. But our tonight discussion, to all of you, I thank you. We finish it here. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Naz. Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Fnan.
Thank you.
And then great having you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Good day.